everyone. Welcome to For the Sake of Heaviness. My name is Butch. We're here with Marc Gaffney from GOZU today. So
Oh,
Gaff from
yeah.
GOZU. How's your day,
Yeah.
man?
Good. Busy. Thanks so much. How's your going?
Good. I can't complain. Can't complain at all, man. I met someone years ago. I was working in a in a building, and I'd see the same older gentleman every day in the elevator, and his answer was always, "Every day above ground is a good day."
Right.
So,
All right. Yeah.
so that's
It's
how I
true.
answer it.
True.
Man, I really love GOZU 6.
Oh, thank
I have to tell you, man, I'm a little bit newer to GOZU. I've been like following for a little while, and catching up on your back catalog. And when I saw the new record was coming out, I was excited to hear the promo for it, and it's everything that um, I hoped it was going to be. It's a killer record. I think I like the whole catalog. I think is top notch, but it feels to me like with every record, you guys just get a little bit, your writing gets a little bit better, it gets a little bit more succinct, and just they all, the sound on this record is phenomenal. But so I do want to talk about the record, and real quick though, before we get into the record, we always like to
you.
get into like your kind of like what led you down this path? Like what got you in, what had you become like a guitar player and a singer?
Shit. So, I had like played guitar, when I was younger, but nothing like, I always played sports, right?
Right.
So went to college, to play lacrosse. I'd blown my shoulder out a few times in high school. And, so when I was a freshman, I went to catch a pass. My shoulder literally fell out.
Oh,
Like, like stick down, the fucking glove came off, my shoulder, I could put like my hand. Uh, so then shortly after that, I started playing guitar more and started like writing music. I didn't sing out shit by myself. I was maybe 20 years old. I think
okay.
the first, I sang like, just with another guy, my friend Tom, doing like background vocals and such. But yeah, I never, I mean, I always loved music because, but, always music on, right? Or when playing
Yeah.
sports and things like that. Um, so yeah, in college, and then my senior year, well, I was in a band before, but then my senior year is when I really kind of took it very seriously, and it's stuck since then, to be honest with you. So, but yeah, I didn't. I'm not like trained or anything, shall we
Right.
say? Like I can't read music. I don't know what the fuck is, you know.
I hear the same here.
I can't, I'm lucky that, the guys I play with know all that stuff, but, I have to be like, yo, so what, is that on the seventh fret? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's kind of fucking, so for me, I'm finally comfortable, with playing guitar and singing. I mean, obviously
Right.
I've done it, but, the past couple of years, I played more guitar than I probably have like ever in my whole life. So I was happy, with what we were able to come up with for Gozu 6.
Right.
And I finally feel like singing wise, this was really the album, I wanted to be able to make vocally. So
Yeah. Awesome. Did you kind of just fall into singing? Was it a situation where when you guys started the band or in a prior band, you're all looking at each other like who's going to do it? And because your voice
um
your voice seems pretty I was going to ask you later on
sure.
about your voice. Like you do so many things with your voice. It's I think it's really cool, like how you can
Well,
go
thank you.
from the gruffer,
Hmm.
um the heavier edge into like these really like melodic, quite soulful, that like your voice covers a wide range for which I think differs from a lot of bands like that play this style of
Yeah.
music.
A lot of that is from, my family. you know, like my parents took me to see like Croce, you know, Chape and all that stuff. When I was young, you know, they took me to see like Blood, Sweat, and Tears. The eighth grade, my dad took me to see Earth, Wind, and Fire and
Oh
George
wow.
Benson. And then, you know, when I was a freshman in high school, my uncle took me to go see Stevie Wonder. I was in like in the 11th row in Syracuse at like the War Memorial. And then,
I'm
you know, you
jealous.
go, then you go months later, I'm seeing like the Grateful Dead, Allman Brothers, like Van Halen, things like that. Um, so, you know, I would always like sing in my room and shit, but you know, I didn't think I was this guy who would get out and sing, to be
Right.
honest with you. And then when I was in college, you know, playing with one of my best friends, you know, he would sing and I would do, you know, harmonies with him. Um, and so, and then I just started, you know, singing and, it was, you know, more in like jam bandy type things, soul bands. And then, you know, I just, when I was in bands, you know, it just, okay, I'll sing. Yeah, I didn't set out, you know, to be a vocalist or anything like that. It just
Right.
is one of those things. It kind of came to me. So, you know, I was like, fuck it, I'll do it. And, you know, I'm starting to kind of understand, you know, I'm doing more, like before we play, like I'll do vocal warm-ups and things like
Yeah.
that. But I didn't know any of that shit before, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Um, so yeah, for me, it's all been just kind of what I hear in my head and just seeing if I could put it out there. Um, but yeah, I love, you know, going from, you know, down and then, you know, falsetto and stuff like that. Because yeah, you know, I was in like a 7-piece soul band for a long time.
Very cool.
Uh, you know, my band at college, we had 2 drummers, right? My band, you know, the first gig I ever played outside of college, um, was opening up for the Ramones
Oh
and
wow.
Social D. Yeah, it was like 1995 probably, and it was at the University of Albany. They had this huge like spring weekend,
Right.
so we got asked to play that. Um, so you know, it's gone from there. But that music was way more, you know, kind of in the soul line. You know, Sly and the Family Stone, Allman Brothers sort of thing,
Right.
and then. And then Doug and I were in a band, you know, before we started GOZU, and that was more kind of like Radiohead, Jeff Buckley sort of thing.
Hmm.
And so a lot of it, you know, was just figuring out, you know, when we would write, like I would just come up with, okay, let me try this. But this is the first album where I really felt comfortable delivering, you know, what I was doing. This is for, you know, I went in knowing exactly what I was going to do,
Right.
how I wanted certain harmonies to sound, call responses, things like that. Um, so thank you for liking
Yeah.
it.
I mean, thank you
Appreciate it. Yeah,
for
sure, sure.
thank you for making it because
Yeah,
it's, you know,
sure.
like said, a really tremendous record. I'm really looking forward to having it in my hands. It's one thing
Yeah,
to listen to it, but I'm like one of those you know,
yeah,
I
totally. Right. Yeah, 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 yeah,
I
yeah.
love having it, you know, to be able to drop the platter on the
Yeah,
turntable will be
100%.
even
Yeah,
better for me. So,
yeah.
like I was saying, like I and six is really good, and you and Doug formed the band in 2007, 2008, that time period. Like, what do you think has allowed you guys to go from, you know, really like strength to strength? Like every record, I feel like you just get it just like a little bit better, a little bit more yourselves, and um, you know, something unique that makes you guys stand out from, you know, a lot of other bands that are out there. Like,
Yeah,
what's the secret sauce you two have?
it's just we always wanted to make something better. To be honest, we never obviously, you know, there's always that groove and such that's in it, but you know, the more music you listen to, I think, you know, that helps.
Yeah,
It's not being afraid to take all those influences and literally just fucking making a delicious sandwich with it and
right.
just kind of going for it. Yeah, because you know, from Locust Season, you know, and then Fury, as you know, as we've gone, there's always that fuck. We got to make a better album, right? And then you know, you make one, and you're like, oh, that's good, but okay, we got to make it. So for us, it's always like pushing, you know, let's go, fucking this has to sound better. And it's more kind of, thinking about sonically, where do you want to be, right?
Right.
And, okay, I'm searching for this fucking tone, or, and then so it's making sure that the whole is way more significant than a single guitar, right? Or a single, vocal line. So, I think as you get older, you tend to critique your shit a lot more. And I know we all wanted, but for me, I really wanted something vocally that I would not mind listening to. I don't listen
Right.
to any of the GOZU stuff at all.
Oh, really?
So this is the first fucking album where I'll listen, I'll listen to. Yeah, I'm kind of a dick to myself about all that, to be honest. I mean, I was like that with sports and shit too. I'm not very nice to myself, in terms of performance and things like that. So it's the first time, yeah, I don't mind listening. If a tune comes on, and I have to listen to it now because we're going to go on tour, right? And I need to
Yeah.
have everything pretty solid. But I'm actually happy with what I hear coming, out of the speakers, as opposed to I'm like, fuck, I should have did this or this. I think,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So this album, I knew what I wanted to do, and I really went for it. So, uh, you know, there's also a huge pride piece too. You know what I mean? You don't want someone to
Yeah.
listen to it and be like, this fucking sucks.
Right. Oh,
You know,
absolutely. Yeah.
and obviously there'll be people that think this sucks anyway, but that's which is 100% fine, right? But
That's
you don't want
them.
to listen to
That's on
stuff.
them.
Yeah,
Their loss.
yeah, fucking, what I mean. So yeah, when when you get that finished product, you have to love it, because if you don't love it, playing that shit live, well, it's just not. So I think this is, for me, it's emotionally, it's the truest shit I've ever written.
Right.
You know what I mean? It is probably the best therapy I've ever had. Putting this shit, because literally the first time those other guys had heard any of the lyrics was in the studio.
Okay.
I didn't sing this shit at all before. So we'd get the music, everything like down, 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 and then I had written, the lyrics way before, and when we had the music down, I literally went through this pad, right, like 50 sheets, and
Huh.
I would say like verse, or bridge, or use this as a chorus.
Right.
So I was able to go back and be like, oh fuck, this will sound good for this. Because usually what we would do, right, is I'd have lyrics, blah, stuff. And then before I go to the studio, I'd fucking hate it. I'd rip everything apart, fuck this. And I
Uh-huh.
would rewrite the whole album in like 20 minutes. So
Holy
this is the
shit.
first, yeah, so this is the first time where I had the stuff and I just kind of believed in myself that what I had written would be good.
Right.
So, and I was just really looking and being like, oh shit, this would go well with this. I think this chorus would sound great here. So it's the first time I've kept lyrics that I had and I actually used them.
So are you like the kind of person that's constantly jotting things down, you journal and things
Yeah.
like that, and then
Yep. Yep.
rather
When,
than
when it comes to me, like I don't push it, to be honest. It's just during this time I was a fucking miserable bastard. So
yeah.
I was living in this shitty apartment by myself. Um, I was going through some heavy shit. It was either writing this or, crushing like a 12 pack a night, which is not really good for you. And so
Right.
I kind of changed the ways of my living, shall we say. I worked out, so I would work, I'd go to the gym. That was more mental, I'd come up, I'd eat, I'd play guitar, I'd go lay down. And when it hit, I would just write, like,
Nice.
right. And just thinking, um, how do I want to do this? And so I never liked pressure, or I'm not the type of person that's be like, oh fuck, I got to write today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When it comes to me, it comes to tendon like it's like a waterfall. So I just literally I take my pen, or I'd be in the car and I'd be like, oh, I'd have to hit record, and I would speaker sing into and be like, oh shit, it's just
Get the old
something would
voice
hit
memo
me.
going.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when we would play, that's what we do. So, I would come up with some music, sent it to Doug, right? Same thing. And then, we'd send it to the other guys in the band. So, yeah, and I think the way we wrote, I think musically, we came at it from a different angle too, because, like, Corner Lariat, we've never had anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A few of these tunes, you know, I think they're very fresh in our catalog.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we wanted something that, guitar tone wise, it fucking literally would tackle you, and because the rhythm sections always have, you know what I mean? The groove has to be by far, the most important thing.
Yeah.
So everything just clicked, to be honest with you, for this album. It wasn't, you go to the studio sometimes and you're like, oh, what the fuck are you doing? This time everyone had their shit together, So when you go in, it's just bang, 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 bang. Because like I said, I did all the main vocals in a day, and then I did all the background vocals in a day and a half.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing, Gaff.
So, so
Which I think accounts for the record has a very live, kind of like off the floor, energetic
yeah.
vibe to it. It's very in your face. Like you said, the groove is unbelievable. Even when you guys are playing something a little bit on the slower side,
Mm-hmm.
um, that groove, that's one of those things I love about the record and about GOZU in general. Like that groove is always interwoven in there. I mean, I could tell that, I'm not surprised to hear you say that you and Doug played in soul bands before. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and then on top of that, it's you'll have a verse part like in Banachek. You have that pummeling.
Mm-hmm.
It's like almost like that, just that Motorhead, punky, kind
Yeah.
of straight at you verse, but then you go to this chorus and it's just like this incredible melodic, with harmony vocals, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just like I just like that, the light and the dark, like within every song, like that, like how that, you guys can shift like that, but it all sounds like it's coming from the same band.
Yeah, thank you. And I think Benny Grotto, who he engineered, produced, and mixed the album. I chatted with him before. It was like, yo, I really, this is sonically, what I'm going for.
Right.
I would like to be able to do this, and he was fucking great. So when we got in there, I knew just from having recorded like some microphones I wanted to use. So we got in, there was 4, and so bang, bang, sang. We picked that
Right.
one, and then for overdubs, obviously we wanted to use something different, and we tried a few, and it worked. So really, it's also trusting. I mean, we've been really lucky. We worked with him, Dean Beltalonis. So when you work with a really really nice engineer, you're not as worried. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when they're getting off on what you're doing, that's the shit. Like when you do a vocal take, he's like, fucking double that. You're
Yeah.
like, all right, you know what I mean? And then, Doug is there for every for everything. And he'd be like, hey, what about this? And so, but yeah, I literally had like what the fuck I wanted to do. And then also there's some shit on there where that was, a couple things that were not written down, and I just did it and they worked.
Right.
And then like, for karate, that whole end is just me, that's something I could write down, right? It's just like, I'm going to go for it, and hopefully it works.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was all business, doing it. And, yeah, we, especially with like pedals, everything, like, what's going to sound the best,
Right.
through this head, right, through this cab. So we were much more kind of in tune with that on this album. That we wanted it to be really, really thick. I know for because Doug and I guitar tones are different.
Right.
So we wanted something, while he's doing solos and such, right? Mine has a little bit more of an ass end to it, and then Joe and Seth were obviously just keeping that beautiful palette above water, so we can kind of dance on it.
Right.
So everything just kind of clicked for this album. You know what I mean? That's kind of the easiest way to it's one of those things where you always anything you do, right? If you're painting, singing, playing guitar, fucking throwing a frisbee, the more you do it, you know what I mean, the more comfortable you are.
Right.
And a lot of times it's just having that comfortability, which is, it's hard because, again, I have zero music background. I come at shit much more, in that athletic, like I got to fucking kill this, right? If I don't fucking kill this, this sucks. So I found, that I was a lot nicer to myself in this album than I have been, albums before. And that totally helped me to be able to try all this different stuff vocally, especially with doing, harmonies with myself and things like that. Actually like hitting different pitches and different notes, different harmonies. And again, having, guys that are supportive in your band and having, the engineer be like, fuck it, let's go. Let's fucking try this.
Yeah.
So, it's definitely a team effort. You know what I mean? There's no I in GOZU, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's 4 guys who fucking bring, everything to the table. And we're pretty democratic. Like if we don't like a tune, you can't do it, right? Because I've watched bands playing and you can see like, oh, that fucking drummer hates playing this, or that guitar. Oh, for us, it has to be a cohesive unit. And I think it really shows on this album.
Yeah, for sure. Remedy came out in 2023.
Yeah. Wow.
So when do you? I know you did. Unfortunately, I missed you guys when you came. You were here in Pittsburgh with Howling Giant and I think the Obsessed.
Yeah, that was great.
And I was so bummed to miss the show. But when do you guys know that it's time to? When did you start working on the record? What's your normal process for that? Do you just start accumulating songs, and when you get to a certain point, you're like, we're getting, we got like 4 songs here. Maybe it's time to start really pushing them.
Yeah, we try to do, so we try to think it in like a year and a half to 2 years, because it doesn't, you do the album, then it's not going to come out for another fucking 8-9 months. You know what I mean? So we're pretty cognizant of, okay, we need something to come out, in this amount of time. And also you get bored playing, all the shit. Like you yearn to play like different stuff.
Yeah.
So for us, we usually, try, a year and a half, or 2, we know we want to have something recorded so it can go out, later in the year.
Okay. Cool. I wanted to ask you too. I was looking through your bio and just in the listening to the records, and then you look at the titles. The sense I have for GOZU 6 is that it's a pretty heavy record lyrically, but then you guys have this fun side, with your lyrics where those titles aren't meant to match up with what's going on with the song. And first of all, I wanted to ask you, just looking through the titles, The Magnificent Morocco, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, The Nature Boy, Midnight Express. You got to be an old school wrestling fan.
Yeah. Doug and I were. Yeah, I mean, we're in our 50s, so that was the highlight. Yeah.
That was my time period too, man. All those guys.
Get up on Saturdays and watch, like Gordon Soley and all that shit. And I haven't watched in fucking years, but that was a huge part of growing up.
Yeah.
And those names are amazing. What I mean? And, so so we like that. And also because lyrically, some of the stuff is, kind of dark. We would always, picture like someone reading, the titles out loud and people be like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So, we'd always be like, wouldn't it be hilarious? Like so-and-so is like, oh, the song is called Hey, Hey, Chicken George. You know what I mean? Yeah. We do it because I think you also have to show a human side, right? Not everything this fucking sucks or blah, blah, So for us, yeah, I mean, we laugh all the fucking time. I mean, probably we laugh at shit we probably shouldn't be, but
Same.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of the only way to get through stuff. So we don't, I mean, musically, we take that shit very seriously, but, outside, no, I mean, it's like four fucking goofballs.
Yeah.
So, like for us, we would just think and be like, and these names were really toned the fuck down. Like, holy shit, toned
Yeah.
down. I was going through the list the other day. I was like, oh my God, well, fucking wow. So,
Yeah. I think
yeah,
I,
these were like, these were more sensitive than usual. So yeah, we do that just so people know, like, you know, we love to play things like that, but also we get, that people do need to laugh, right? Like, especially, in the past few years where everything's kind of a fucking nightmare.
yeah, dude.
So, so yeah, in our mind, we've always just enjoyed doing, and some people still don't get it. Like I had people ask me like, oh, does that, I'm like, how the fuck does that have anything to do, what I mean, with, but, and some people don't like it. It's like people get bummed, you like mad at us. It's like, that's your issue, man. If you don't
Yeah.
fucking get it, like this is probably the least of your worries,
Yeah.
Saying
Yeah.
about a song title, then you might want to fucking talk to someone because
Yeah. I love all the pop culture references in those song
yeah,
titles, man. I want
yeah,
to just as a follow-up real quick, I just was curious on Equilibrium, you
right.
have They Probably Know Karate.
Yeah,
And on
yeah,
GOZU 6, you got They Did Know Karate.
yeah.
Was it a conscious, is there a
And
connection
what?
between the songs
No,
or
no, not at all. I was just like, fuck, we gotta have. So how that
call
tune came
back?
about? Yeah. So how that tune came about, right? So when we were Equilibrium, we were in Portsmouth. We had just finished recording. We were down just grabbing a brew, and there was like 10 women came in, and all of a sudden there was these two fucking guys, and I don't know, and Doug was like, ah, fuck, they probably know karate. We were pissing our pants, so so fucking, so I was like, you know what? Those, they did know karate, and we were like, oh, okay. So yeah, it just came from that, just they did know karate. So that was more of like an inside for us, just to kind of. But yeah, and there's times, yeah, that happens all the time. Is like one of us will say like something. It's usually Doug, uh, and it just you're like, oh, that's a fucking great. Like there's so many times we'll be like, oh my god, that'd be a fucking great song title,
Yeah.
So, and we don't name the songs until they're after they're recorded. So a lot of times I'll be like, I got to remember what the fuck the name of the song is. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Because usually it's just like, okay, this one, like whatever the fuck. But so yeah, we always have to remember, be like, the fuck. Okay, which one is that again? Oh, that's Killer
Right.
Khan. Okay, fuck. I thought that was Banishing. So we always have to be like, fuck. Which one is that? How's it?
Yeah.
So yeah, we always come up with the names after they're done recording.
All right. I was gonna ask
Yeah.
if they had come, in bands that I've been in, we'll name stuff like silly stuff while we're working on it so that we
Yeah.
know what we're talking like, oh, that's the candle, that's the
Right.
Candlemass song, or
Oh,
that's
yeah. Most definitely. Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So all right, that's cool. Let me see here. I wanted to ask you, you mentioned Corner Lariat, and
Hmm.
that song did strike me when I was listening to it as being, like different for like one of those things. Like I could tell you guys, you stretch with every
Hmm.
record, and that song. It's amazing to me that you go from like Corinthian Leather,
Right.
which is like just a real driving song, and then a few songs later, you're into like it's almost like it's moody, like almost like borderline ballad
Hmm.
kind of song, and I'm assuming that that the diverse background that you guys have is enables you to bring this stuff in, and is it just that your comfort with working with each other for so long and your desire to not be pigeonholed that allows you to be
Yeah.
comfortable to just like be as diverse as you want to be and be
Yeah.
like, you know what, whatever we write, that's GOZU. and if people like it, that's great. And if
Hmm.
they don't, like, we're making the record we want to make.
Yeah, you just hit it right on the head. Yeah, yeah. That one early on, I sent to Doug, and he was just like, Jesus Christ, he wanted it all. He wanted me just to record it, just me and a guitar, just fucking, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I had heard, different things, and then, once, the four of us hopped on, uh, it worked, but yeah, he was like, I just want you to go on with just a fucking acoustic guitar, record it, we'll be done. I was like, eh. So, but yeah, I was listening to like a shit ton of like Depeche Mode, Joy Division, things like
Yeah.
that, and that was like Neil Young, right, or like a
Right.
lot of like Graham Parsons and things like that. And it kind of, I just came up with that boom, 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 and I was just like, I got to do something like this, and so I sent it to, and then everything just kind of clicked when we got in the studio to do it, and I don't know, it just it was like, I've got this. It's like, all right, okay, what do you want to do with it? And so we're able to, and then I wanted something that he could solo over, you know what I
Right.
mean? In that kind of, for me, like an Allman Brothers, like that kind of, Marshall Tucker Skinner sort
Yeah.
of. And so, I wanted him to be able to kind of show his thing, And so I'm always looking for vehicles. I love 25-minute fucking tunes, like,
Same.
I love, like, go in my car and be like, okay, that's probably gonna take me like 40 minutes. I'm gonna listen to Mountain Jam by the Allman Brothers. It's 45
Yeah.
minutes, right? Like,
Greengrass and High
love the drive.
Tides.
Yeah. That's so funny. I was just listening to the Outlaws earlier.
Yeah.
So,
Love that.
for me, I love that. I mean, that like Umbro's my favorite band, So for me, I'm always searching kind of like for an outlet so he can fucking just rip.
Right.
And so when I was writing, I also had that in my mind, like, I want this, but I also want something where, he can just kind of, let himself stretch and kind of air out. And so I always want to do that with like either one or two songs. I want to, where he can just fucking close his
Rip.
eyes and just tear, and
Nice.
and he was able to do that, and especially this is the best playing I think he's ever done on an album. He came, he kicked the shit out of it, I think.
Yeah, it's ripping.
Yeah.
I did want to be respectful of your time, but also
Sure, sure.
before we go,
Yeah.
I want to touch on, you guys are scheduled to go on the road with Breathless Spirit from
Yeah.
May 24th through the 27th of June.
Yeah.
So is that the first of, do you have any other touring scheduled for the year here in the US, or you got plans to go overseas?
This is all that we have set up right now. And that too is just, we were all going through like Doug just opened up a restaurant bar.
Oh, great.
Yeah, in some, it's a places. That's where we shot Banachek, the video.
That's a great video, by the way.
Yeah, thank
a lot of fun. Like I love the interspersed shots of like the band playing, but then you guys are all looking, you're all suave with your jacket and the
and ascot. I was so excited.
The ascot. It's like it was when I first watched the video. I'm like, this is like, right then, like, you guys are like, I'm like, these dudes are cool. Like, there's stuff.
Yeah, it was, and Doug came up with that concept. We're just like, what the fuck we get? And so it was like, all right, and that's also, just us having faith in each other and just be like, all right, fuck it. And, the director was amazing. We shot that like 5 hours. We shot it on Monday. Metal Blade had the video on that Friday.
Nice.
So it was, it's really just kind of, again, understanding what you're going for. And also understanding, that there's, we all have personal lives too. So everything was so fucking chaotic. So yeah, we'll set some stuff up, but as of right now, because usually we do Europe like almost every year.
Yeah.
But just with so much shit going on and stuff, we'll probably look to do that. and maybe in 27.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're looking at, hopefully the fall for another big US tour.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And then last question, Mike and I always do this. We like to have a little bit of fun at the end. I just got to put you on the spot.
That's okay.
Here's your choice.
Uh-huh.
You got Parliament,
yep,
or Funkadelic.
Fuck. I mean, Maggot Brain is probably one of my favorite albums. But man, I also really love Dollar Bill. I opened up, and so did Doug, for Parliament.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, fucking, I don't know, maybe 2000 or something. That was an amazing show. The guy came up, he's like, I don't know if you've ever heard this. He's like, but you're pretty fucking funky for a white dude.
That's great. I love it. I love it.
So probably Parliament.
All right, right on.
Yeah.
So listen, Gaff, I really want to thank you for your time. Like I said,
Thank you. Thank you
GOZU
so much.
6 is just a great record. I wish you all the success with it.
Oh,
I hope
thank you.
Looks like you guys are playing up in Erie, so that's only a couple hours from here. I'm going to try to get up to that show.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful.
See you guys. But everyone out there, the record GOZU 6 comes out May 15th.
Yep.
Metal Blade Records, and then you'll be on the road from May 24th through June 27th. So watch for GOZU. They're going to be out with Restless Spirit.
Yeah. Wonderful
everyone,
guys.
do yourselves a favor when the record comes out, check it out and go get it, because it's really it's just a great piece of heavy rock music, and there's a lot of energy and emotion in it, and it's I think it's it's one of the best records of this year.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I
Welcome.
greatly appreciate it. And thanks for taking the time and chatting with me.
Absolutely. You're welcome on the show anytime.
Beautiful. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Great, Gaff. Have a great day, man.
You too. Thank you, brother.
See
Have
you.
a great
Thank you
week.
so much.
Take care. You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.